behavior.
By whom?
I've never heard that, but that's the origin of CAP. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look.
There's principles that
Right.
we have to follow.
Yeah.
We have to have.
Be true to yourself. You don't have.
And when I came back, the place was a mess. So I knew I was missed.
Deep in here now. Now
It's
deep.
incredible. I love it.
Me
That's
too.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And applying the recovery I thought.
Hello, hello, hello. Honesty Liller here, the CEO of the McShin Foundation, Woman in Recovery. I'm a proud alum of the McShin Foundation as well. I came through here, the housing, over 17 years ago and just never left. I just have my own house now. Today, I have two special guests here for our podcast. Just so you ladies know, this podcast does go into 767 jails across the United States. That may be the wrong number, but close to that. So we give it to two local organizations that put it into the tablets. So just so you know, a lot of the audience is those that are incarcerated as well. And then over millions and whatever views throughout the year from all of our social media platforms. So we really like to give hope into those institutions and give hope to those individuals that are incarcerated. And we've gotten a lot of people from all different states all over the U.S. that come live here from just watching this on the tablets.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
it's so cool. I know. I really do like that. So who I have here today is the executive director of Atlantic Outreach, Kheila Jones. Who? Kheila Jones. And Kim Mathias. Hello. Kim here. So it might get a little funny. So me and Kim have been friends since she came through the McShin Foundation 11 years ago.
In 2010.
Yeah. Whoa.
So almost 14 years
14 years ago.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. So 14 years ago, she lived here at the McShin Foundation. She actually worked. Did you work here and Dr. Jimmy?
I never worked here. I started off
With Jimmy.
with Jimmy
Yeah.
and John at Clean Life.
That's right. Yeah. So now, Dr. Thompson is beautiful and doing Master Center for Addiction. I got to get him on here.
Mhm.
So it's really cool to see alumni and friends, and we need to set a date. Me, her, and another friend of ours. I don't have many friends. People might think I do, but I don't. I really don't. My dogs are my life. I mean, my children too. But so I really value our time together because I don't go out with nearly anyone else besides you and Kel.
Speaking of your children, we used to, every morning before I would come up to the church, I would go to the Wawa and get coffee and donuts, and Wyatt and I would eat donuts together every morning.
That's right. I know. Isn't it crazy?
It's itty bitty.
I know. And now he's a foot taller than me. It's wild to be able to see that and incorporate so much of that in our lives, that peer-to-peer connection. And my kids were raised here, both of them. But anyway, so enough of that. So we're going to get here.
No, I was laughing because I was like, Kim's a creature of habit. She still gets the coffee every morning.
Oh, every morning. I drink it every, but I do a good old Folgers. I do Folgers at my house.
Every morning.
Yeah. That's cool. I know. Little baby Wyatt. I got little Time Hop. I got that app. It's the best app ever. They're not paying me to say this. It's called Time Hop. So it gets all your social media. The day I posted something this day, like last year before, oh, mommy's little sweetie. So much came up for him graduating the daycare. And he goes, there's a little video. And it says something about the God verse, and God helps other people, and he's like, just like my mommy and McShin Foundation. And he's like this big with his little Jordans on, and now he's like huge. Anyway, so recovery rocks, and you can be a mommy in recovery.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. So Kim has been in my life forever, obviously, and then we got to meet finally after all these years.
I know, right?
I still talk to people. I don't really say who it was, but I was like, I have never, ever out of all of these years just go meet someone for coffee and talk for 3 hours.
We did.
Never out of all of this meetings and thousands I've had. So I was like, when I left that coffee shop that day, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what time is it? You know, I didn't have
Yeah.
any other meetings, but I had to do something with Wyatt that evening or something. I was like, well, dang, I'm just going to go straight home. Cause I mean, I just didn't. So I appreciate that, like our connection and being able just to talk.
I was telling him, I was like, that was an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
Like it had me charged up. It was really nice to connect. Yeah.
Good. I know. So speaking of connection, that's what we do here in recovery and helping those with substance use disorders. So Atlantic Outreach. So what is it? What do you guys do? And why do you do it?
So we are a nonprofit organization founded in 2010. You want me to give a little backstory on that?
Sure, totally.
So initially when AOG was founded, it was because one of my close family members had experienced incarceration and was in this recidivism cycle, right? He would get locked up, he would come back out. And I was like, what if I could create some type of resource or program where resources were available, whether that was job readiness, financial literacy, whatever the case may be. And so when I did that, we quickly found that the families needed those resources as well. So we kind of branched out and was just like, okay, this isn't just for people, you know, being recently released, but just anyone that needed the resources. So we kind of became like a resource hub. We were focusing on financial literacy, education, daycare, readiness, employment, just a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, okay, how can we be as effective as possible, right? We can't be everything to everybody. So we kind of hunkered down, looked at the data, and in 2020 alone, we got over 850 mental health and substance use referrals.
Wow.
And so it was just like, okay, ding, we definitely need to hone in on that.
Yeah.
The second one was food insecurity because we always had our food programs to where now we feed about 30,000 individuals a year.
Wow.
And then, of course, housing was always an issue. And so once we said, okay, how can we address those 4 barriers? And that's how our flagship program, Fresh Start, was started, which is a recovery program. It's 90 days. Currently, I think we have about 130 beds.
Okay.
And that's for individuals that are in recovery, but also do a diagnosis. That can be anywhere from 90 days all the way up to about 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So were they located, like y'all have a recovery center? Didn't y'all were moving to a new recovery center? Or what do you call it? We call it recovery center.
Yeah, we call it the center.
Okay.
I think everybody uses center.
Yeah.
So right now that center is located on Chamberlain.
Oh, okay.
We're about to move to a larger facility because we grew very quickly, and that is going to be like at North Avenue in Garland. So maybe about 2 minutes away, not that far.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like moving.
It's just one piece that's moving.
Yeah.
And so yeah, if it was everybody, that'd be a whole nother that'd be a whole nother conversation.
That just gave me just a little bit of anxiety for you. Like just like I couldn't imagine packing up because now we've on all 3 floors. We have this whole west wing
now.
Yeah. So we were just starting out downstairs with 2 offices when I lived here. And now we have the whole west wing of this whole church. So
wow.
Yeah, we're
so how did that just gradually happen over time?
Gradually, yeah. So the church let John in forever ago. So we're almost 20 years. So 18 years ago-ish or 19 years ago as the pastor, John came over and needed a new place for his 12-step home group. So that's where it started, the home group. And then him and the old pastor connected. And then he was in one little office at Rubicon. It used to be called Rubicon back in the day. And then he moved over here. And then Daniel Payne, which is the first executive director here, and then they got 3 houses. And I remember when I lived here, it was 3 houses, 1 female, 2 male. The female was barely anyone ever in it. Kelly was in it. My friend that's still my friend today, and a couple other people. And then we just had 3 offices downstairs, and there was like a clothes closet that was the church. And so it was a lot like, you know, it was a relationship building. We had to build a relationship. You know, it's not really heard of that a Baptist church lets a bunch of sinners come up in here, you know. So it was, and even probably when you lived here. So it was still, you know, some stuff, kinks we had to work out, but now it's beyond beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then John and I moved on the 2nd floor probably 10 years ago. And then now we have all of our administrative pretty much, besides Jesse. He stays in the root. He stays downstairs because
he wants to be in the thick of it.
Well, I don't want to be. So
Uh-huh.
he is
Just
so,
a slow
yeah.
infiltration.
Yeah. So just slow. And then, yeah, I mean, honestly, we're probably busting out the seams here too. So we got to see, we're having our strategic plan at the end of July and
Oh.
kind of just see what,
What
so
that
I
looks
might call you and get you
Yeah.
get some advice on that too.
Yeah, because we're about to move in September,
Okay.
our corporate office, because we are literally on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So September,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
going from about 10,000 square feet to about 25,000 square feet. So
Wow.
we need it.
Yeah.
We need
yeah.
it. Yeah. So that's the anxiety
Yeah.
inducing one right there.
Yeah. Yeah. This is 15,000. So what
Yeah.
we can occupy here. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, it's a beautiful, we love it. They cook
Yeah.
cakes. The ladies over on the side cook, probably 22 cakes now every month for all of our houses.
Oh,
So
wow.
to celebrate recovery. Yeah. And
Oh,
we do
that's
whatever
awesome.
they need around here. We've always been doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful partnership for sure. So unpack. So you said when you started, so do you contribute COVID to that 850 when you started? Like that many people?
Some of it. So that just had been over like the past couple years.
Oh, okay.
So COVID really impacted our food program.
Yes.
So we went from honestly serving about 50 to 75 people a week to during that 1 year, 400 people a week.
Mhm.
And now we're anywhere between 700,
Mhm.
800 people a week now.
So unpack that program. What does
Yeah.
that look like?
So the food program encompassing a couple different things. So we get food out through our mobile food pantry where we
Mhm.
go out into food deserts. So food deserts are locations that don't have necessarily a traditional grocery store
Oh.
within available access for people
Okay.
with transportation
Sure.
barriers. Then we have our deliveries. So
Mhm.
we deliver within a 15-mile radius of our location. So that's anyone that has transportation barriers, the elderly, or you just
Mhm.
like, you know what? I have a house full of children. I can't get them all on the
Sure.
bus. Can someone help? That
Oh.
type of thing. And then they can come to our actual location. So
Mhm.
you schedule an appointment, you come to us. What I am super proud of is we're one of the few food programs to, even if you don't have an appointment, Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, you can come and get emergency food. So if
Wow.
you're just down and out, you need something to hold you over, you can come and be like, hey, I
Mhm.
need an emergency bag. And that can hold you over for a couple of days.
Wow. So is
Yeah.
that located in this facility that all of y'all are in? Whoa, no wonder. All the
Yeah.
food is too?
All of the food. So if
Oh,
you,
y'all just,
we're on the
I am gonna
opposite
cry
side.
for y'all.
We're on the
That
opposite
is-
side of the building though.
Oh my
so
gosh.
so it's like our office is over here and then you go around the other side
Yeah,
and
you
that's
need,
where
yeah.
so we definitely need the space. And then we just launched last year our pet pantry.
What is that?
So our pet pantry is for
I have
pet
2
owners.
dogs. They're my children.
Yeah.
They literally are my kids.
I'm a dog mom too. So
Ugh.
we offer supplemental pet food
Oh,
for
really?
individuals that have cats and dogs.
Because
So
it's
that's
expensive.
it very
Those
much
little
is.
turds are expensive. I've
They
had to-
are.
thrice I have had to call the emergency vet on my one Boston Terrier Rocky. Like
Yeah.
he literally ate a succulent. I had this weekend, and for two other things, he ate a grape. And I know it's
Oh,
a myth,
no,
but I
yeah.
paid the $85 each time because I
I
need
heard
to
they were
know.
toxic.
Yes,
Mhm.
it for certain breeds, and if you eat more than one, is what
Okay.
I found out. So now I know.
Did you Google
I
that?
know. I called the thing and paid $85.
Yeah, the poison
Your
control.
poison
like,
control, it's
Mhm.
$85. And then so he ate the succulent. So he doesn't like this morning or yesterday morning, I was on a Zoom. So he went and ate my heating pad. Like he doesn't like when you're not paying attention to him because he's very spoiled. Like he is the toddler that comes in the bathroom with you.
Yeah.
Like that's just like Adam, my husband, will call him. I'm like, dude, he ain't budging. He is
Yeah.
stuck next to me. Like he's not gonna. So like if I'm on a Zoom or a work call or whatever at
Yeah.
the house, he will go find something to chew. So that day was a succulent this weekend. And I had to take a picture, go to this secret Facebook group, put the picture of the succulent so
Not
they
the
can
secret Facebook
yeah,
group.
they had to
What's happening right now?
they had to identify the succulent for me, or I guess it's one of those little tiny little things.
Yeah.
So they identified it immediately, and then I had to call the emergency back, and they say, "Oh, he's gonna be fine if he isn't throwing up." I was like, "Okay." So
After the
anyway,
$85.
that they add up when you have a pet because you want to be able to afford a pet, like
Yep.
especially when you have children and have something. So
Mhm.
that is awesome.
Yep. So we've been doing that since last March.
Okay.
So like a year and a half, and it's pretty popular now. We were just talking about
Mhm.
in May alone, we had like 126 appointments.
Whoa.
So yeah.
So how do you get the pet food and the human food?
Through a variation of donation,
Mhm.
purchase, and grants.
Oh, okay.
So we were just honored to be a part of the Community Foundation's partnership, where their animal welfare fund actually gave us a grant to support what we're doing. And then we also have like volunteer opportunities where you can do like off-site volunteer opportunities to put together like emergency pet kits and things like that in exchange for volunteer hours.
Oh, let me know about that.
Okay.
I would be involved in that. Was it Community Foundation rocks?
They
we
do.
get a grant from Jenkins Foundation through them.
Yeah.
And for Destiny House and for the Women and Children's House and for Brenna. And I've been with them forever though. I was class 11, I think, for the ENLP. So the emergency.
I graduate tomorrow.
Shut up. Isn't it awesome?
It is.
It was really cool meeting so many nonprofit leaders and ones that aspire to be leaders. This was, probably like 7 or 8 years ago. I went to Stanford for a week. I was talking to my therapist this morning about that too, because I want to go to school, but not for like, if I just don't want to do CSAC or none of that. Like I want to do like a spiritual learning. So she said Harvard does free classes. So I was like, well, what about Stanford? I already went there for a week. I'm technically an alma mater, right? I went 1 week. Hey, I had to get accepted and I had to do an essay and everything. So that was for nonprofit leaders across the whole entire world. So it was like 33 of us from all over the world. It was such a cool experience, like going there.
Let me know about the spiritual one.
I will. I'm doing everything I look up as Bible, which is cool. I just, I don't know. I go through like imposters. We're getting to another, but I go through imposter syndrome a lot. Like I'll see these women that, are probably older than me. I don't know, but they're in long-term recovery and they're like, I got, this degree, and it's like 32 letters behind them. I got CEO, so and I got CPRS. So it does. I go through as a woman specifically, like I work through my therapist and everything with that. But it's like that imposter syndrome sometimes of like, oh man, do I? But then I'm like, no way. Because I told my husband, I was like, man, maybe I should go to business school. He's like, business, you are business school. Like you've already learned all I don't have the time to go. So yes, I'll let you know, because I do want to learn more about like spirituality in general, like all facets of it.
I think just overarching, not one specific like denomination or anything like that, but I think it's also just what works best for you. And I think a lot of times with school, you already have the real world experience. So it's just like, I can do it. How much is it going to cost?
Right.
Because
travel baseball is expensive, so we're going to be doing that for a little while.
And sometimes I see the email signatures and it's like, okay, it's just a really long.
I know they got an encyclopedia.
Like, what are those?
I'm like, I'm not knocking it at all.
No,
it's beautiful. You're badasses. You work your ass off. It's just like I do still, after all these years being here, like I still like not struggle. I can't say I struggle with it because I really don't, but it'll pop. Like if I see like this beautiful woman speak and it's like, man, I just got my master's. I'm like, what? I don't know. So I'll just like think about it but that's why I got to pay a therapist, So
exactly.
I talk it all out
to talk you back and just
So talk about your recovery program. So what does that look like? It's First Start. Is that what it is? Fresh Start. Fresh Start. First Start's like a daycare thing or something, right?
Would you like to talk about it?
Fresh Start.
So I always wonder what she said.
Oh, Fresh Start or First Start?
In First Start, like a date, like a pre-K something.
I think so.
I don't know.
Because it says first. Head
Start. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. You start talking about
our Fresh Start program is 90 days.
Okay.
And we have men and women. They come to our program and they go to group at the center for 4 days a week for 5 hours a day.
Okay.
And they do all kinds of we've changed the name of some of that stuff. PETs, which are
our personal development trainers, so they facilitate the group.
Right. And they are persons that are in recovery that have come through the program themselves.
Oh, I love that.
So it's peer-to-peer. Which is the greatest part about it. But they also have access to peer support services through Hype Counseling Services, one of our sister companies, and or mental health skill builders, access to our psychiatric services through CVPP, counseling services through Hype. So they they've given me a new term for this.
It's kind of like a continuum of care, but kind of like an
Continuum of
integrated healthcare system.
Yeah.
So I think one of the main barriers that just individuals face when they're trying to receive treatment is this piecemealing, right? I have to go over here to talk to somebody. I have to go over here to talk to somebody. So again, the whole idea behind Fresh Start is what if we could just integrate it all, right? To reduce the barrier for entry, but also to make it so that I don't have to hop 50 different places, because then it's discouraging and I might just be like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is, okay, when you come into what we call our ecosystem, you have access to all these services. You may not need all of the services, but you have access. If you need to speak with a psychiatrist, you don't have to wait 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Within that first week, we're like, okay, you have your appointment.
Yeah,
if you,
that's what we do.
Yeah, your therapist, the making sure you have medication management, but then also on the AOG side, we have our 8 to Great program. So what does life look like once you leave us, right?
Okay.
So life skills, just preparing for that. Workforce development. We're in the works with some really exciting apprenticeship opportunities, because they do focus on getting employment, but what does a career look like?
Yeah.
Right. So kind of lining those things up. Oops. Rookie mistake.
No, you're good.
Lining those things up so that the barriers aren't there. Yeah.
That's awesome. So like, did the humans that you serve, do they all have to live to get all those services, or can people walk in?
For Fresh Start, yes.
Okay.
So in the ecosystem, we have Hype Counseling Services. We have Central Virginia Preferred Providers. And then we also have a company called Blue Arc,
Okay.
Which is kind of like the unicorn, because that's just for individuals with autism.
Oh, wow.
But all of those services are a la carte. But if they want the Fresh Start program, they stay with us the entire time.
Okay.
And that's 90 days. We provide the transportation and all of that stuff. And then once they graduate from Fresh Start, they can go into what we call Prevention Plus,
Okay.
which is kind of our alumni program. It's still programming, but it's not as
rigid and as many
exactly
groups.
because
Right.
they're working, they're doing all of these things, but it's more along the lines of mindset, right? How do you get your mindset right to achieve certain goals, and then just kind of doubling down on the things that they've learned. And they're with us in Prevention Plus for about 2 years.
Okay. But they work and everything, or someone pays for that 2 years?
They work.
working.
So when they
Okay.
leave Fresh Start, the alumni housing is paid rent. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So how do y'all get funding for the 90 days for them to, and then how do y'all, 2 questions. How do y'all get funding for the 90 days, and how do y'all keep them engaged if they can't have employment? I just know for here, after 30 days of groups all day, it's, I want to go out and do something else.
So right, all of it is in hindsight, right? So when we initially started that program 4 years ago, it was like that first 30 days, no movement, right?
Yeah.
You need to get comfortable where you are and all of that
Mhm.
stuff. And now it's okay, after 2 weeks, what we call focus time, just getting acclimated to the house, the programming. And then after that 30 days, they can work. It just works around
what
the
they're
program.
doing.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
Funding looks a couple different ways,
Yeah,
right?
I
As a
know.
nonprofit, you
I
have to
get it.
diversify.
You don't have to tell me.
So again, grants, Jenkins Foundation supports us as well. Fee for service.
Okay.
And then donations.
Yeah, I know. Steve is gonna put all of y'all's stuff up after, because we edit this. So hey, I haven't said anything yet that I feel like I need to be edited.
No, we've been good.
But so we'll put all of y'all's stuff up. So donations. Look how many people they're feeding alone. Plus all the recovery support services and the dogs and cats. So come on, make a donation.
Yeah.
So Hype Counseling, that's a sister. She said sister company. So can individuals come in there and get counseling without like going through AOG? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's all a la carte. So I operate the Atlantic Outreach Group arm. My husband Shiloh Jones operates the Hype portion, and then our partner Mr. Anderson operates the outpatient clinic. So we all have our arms that we kind of work in. But it just made sense to kind of partner because we were experiencing that barrier to entry, right? I need a psych eval, or I need medication. And it's like when someone is in the thick of it and they're having a mental health crisis,
Mhm.
I can't tell them, oh, come back in 2 weeks, or hey, here's a list of numbers to give a call to try to help. So it was more of a situation where every service that we brought on is because it was a need, and we didn't necessarily have anyone that we could say, okay, go here, and we knew that it would get done. So it kind of grew from there of, okay, we need all of these services, and so it just streamlined.
That's awesome. Well, what we do is the same day. We don't do anything other. And then they move in our house. Then we take them to all day long. We have drivers just going all over the place. So we have a bunch of vehicles out there. Because that's beautiful. But our ecosystem doesn't look like that. But we make sure that they get, because the doctors and professionals that it's same day normally, detox for sure. And then there's so much here in Richmond that you can choose. I think we've actually used Hype too, because everybody's full, and like waiting list as far as like psychiatric care, not housing here, but like because of COVID and just everything, not even just substance use disorder. So it's
just
been
in general.
All right, welcome to the McShin Foundation's Get in the Herd podcast here in Richmond, Virginia. We want to do a quick shout out to our sponsors. Up first is the Seed Institute. Seed Institute. If you have any questions about trying to get some trainings, they specialize in trainings, and they also help individuals start their own LLCs. They specialize in startup businesses. They are minority owned as well. So reach out to them, 804-939-0541. And then next up, we have the Farley Center. That was my angel on my shoulder there. We have the Farley Center. They are a treatment center located in Williamsburg, Virginia. If you have any loved ones or anyone that needs some services for substance use disorder and or mental health, give them a call. They have a detox, and they take commercial insurances. 804-638-7329. Kelly Eason is the name of their coordinator. Give them a call, the Farley Center. Thank you, Farley Center, for that sponsorship. And then up next, we have Rooted Hair Studios. They are located in Colonial Heights, Virginia. If you give them a call and mention McShin, you'll get 10% off your next hairdo. So go on, get your hair done. Rooted Hair Studio, 804-919-3851. They are located in Colonial Heights, Virginia, and they are locally owned as well. So they're not a whatever commercial brand studio. They're locally owned. So give them a call. 804-919-3851. Mention code McShin, get 10% off. And then we have one last sponsor who wanted to remain anonymous. So we do want to shout them out for that sponsorship. They sponsored the podcast. So I don't have anything to sponsor. I don't have anything to say for them.
Lunch today.
Yes, but we do want to shout them out and say, thank you for that. And we appreciate that. And we appreciate all of our sponsors. And with that, we're going to get into our next episode.
Wow, that one of my closest friends, she is amazing, and she's got a waiting list, I think, for like 3 months.
Yeah,
it's so insane.
It is, and then it's the workforce isn't matching the demand, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of therapists that are working remotely.
Yes.
And all of our participants are seen face to face.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, well, remote works for some.
Yeah.
Right. But
I'll be honest. My therapist is remote. And at first I was like, she just said I do remote. And at first I was like, because I love the connection, the hugs and everything. But it's worked out. I've been seeing her for a year and a half.
Is she local?
She's local. Yeah, she's local. But she was referred by Alden, so I trust Alden with my life. So and I've never done. I did therapy back like when I overdosed, like when I was 17 and stuff, and I hated every second of it. Yeah. So this past like year and a half now, I think I've been going once a month, and it's definitely it's one of my pathways of recovery. You know, and severe mental illness and everything too.
And
so
self-care.
Yeah. So I love it, and it helps me. And I
love it too.
Yeah.
I'm a face-to-face kind of a person, right? Because I need to feel. Plus, I'm sometimes can be a little bit paranoid, like who can hear what I'm saying, and if I'm going to be like that gut level honesty that I need to be
Yeah.
in order to like heal,
Yeah.
then I need to make sure that I'm in a private, safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this morning, Wyatt, because my son's out of school now, because school's out. Yay, no more carpool. Hey. I'm so excited about that. But I was like, dude, you can't be in here. Get out of here. So I just went into my gym / reading room / meditation room / everything. It's
Yeah.
my room.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was listening. I didn't talk about his dad. So that not this session.
Yeah.
So his dad didn't get brought up this session. Okay.
Poor
But
Adam.
it's really cool to be able to like the individuals that we serve. It's like there's a lot that it's just kind of some take the detox, some don't. Some take the therapy, some don't. Some need this, but we provide a lot of wellness stuff. So we have paid and volunteer, like trauma informed care yoga teachers, a lot of stuff for the Destiny House as well, like parenting. And then, it's just individualized. We have a structured program for the 28 days. Then they move in, hopefully, into sober living. So it's just a lot less stuff. But the professionals that we use, most of our people end up getting on Medicaid while they're here, because they get a navigator the day that they get here, recovery coach, whatever. So it's important for them. Okay, your 28 days is cut off, and then because we pay for all of that, but then it's like, you still, that's just not long enough. Like if you, especially like EMDR and all of that stuff, it's like, that is a lot of sessions. So, I mean, we're grateful Virginia obviously has Medicaid expansion. A lot of these doctors take Medicaid. So for them, we don't do that. Because that blows my, I don't know.
That's not our wheelhouse.
Yeah. Me neither. I can't. Everyone's like, well, you don't do that yet. And I'm like, no, because it's just what we're doing is working. We've been here almost 20 years now. So what we're doing is beautiful. And I like raising money. I'm doing coding and stuff. It's just not my jam. I'm not going to do that.
I think whatever you find that works for you, whatever model works, but I like the nonprofit arm of it. And it's just a lot that comes with billing and getting credentialed with providers and all this, the oversight and stuff like that, I'm just like, we're good.
Yeah. You're doing great. I know you're doing good. And I love it. The nonprofit. I know we partner with some stuff and we have a ton of events coming up. So I'll shoot y'all over everything. Nonprofit tables are free. Please just so you know. But Hype Now, they can sponsor.
They can sponsor. But I wanted to go back to Kim because she loves talking.
I do.
Yeah.
But,
you know what?
So when Kim initially came over to Atlantic Outreach, she was doing admissions coordinator.
Okay.
So she was actually our first point of contact. So when a community partner or a person submitted a referral, Kim was like front line. So she got to actually go through, do the interviews with the people. So it was just a super important role. So I did want to kind of get your perspective on like what that was and what that felt like, because she would say, okay, this person is a great fit, like looking at all of the H&Ps, the background and all that
was
stuff.
Fun. But also at the same time, it for me being empathetic and really, we had a list of questions that we have to go through, right? Because it's an interview process.
Sure.
We want to make sure that whoever comes in, and we still do it to this day. She might ask slightly different questions, but it's the same sort of thing to make sure that they're right for us and we're right for them, because we're not right for everybody. Right. And then making sure that if we're not right for them, that we're helping to find someone that is right for them. But the questions are there. And I think part of the way that I was doing it, like I can't ask, what's your name? And then, right. And so it was more conversational. And it was draining. I loved every minute of it, but I always, through those interview processes, I always shared a bit about who I was and where I came from, because I wanted to first and foremost make sure that they were understanding that we're on the same level playing field.
Totally.
And that, especially when I was interviewing people that were in treatment, because we're doing all of these over Zoom. I'm like, I've been to treatment 6 times. Go. You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't to like one up or anything. It was just to find some common ground and to let them know that they were safe. And also to see, some of it is like honesty. How honest are we going to get about it? And to get to know them a little bit better. That way we could figure out if they were going to be a good fit and we were going to be a good fit for them. So it was fun. I miss it sometimes. But now I kind of get to do that thing when I come here and do stuff like this, or I'll come to Recovery Fest and get to talk to people and see all bunch of old friends.
know.
It's
I
always
love that
so much
event.
fun.
I know.
I won't eat the barbecue because I don't eat barbecue,
Me
but it is
neither.
good.
I
I've had it
know.
before.
Me neither. I had one bite of Adam's once. I don't eat beef or pork.
Mm.
I haven't in 23 years, maybe.
Okay.
Not for any reason. I just stopped eating it.
Yeah.
Probably also I didn't really eat food back then because I was on heroin. But those two I really don't eat.
Yeah.
So I did eat. My husband made me eat this tiny because he was like the lead of the barbecue for years here and smoking meat, not drugs and everything. Him and John, the co-founder. But I did eat this tiny piece. And now he's like, oh, I got my non-pork eating wife to eat it. Blah, blah. I was like, it was literally a smidge. And it was good, but he makes me cupcake chicken. So he puts it in these molds and they're chicken thighs, I think. Oh, so good. It just melts in your mouth. Chicken. It's called cupcake chicken because they come out looking like it. Yeah.
Oh, you just said it was chicken thighs. You didn't say what else.
He makes it like a cupcake and it like the top of a cupcake, the muffin top. And then it's all these he injects and everything, all the sauces. It's a whole. He went to McShin. He's a famous barbecue guy. Him and John went there to Georgia like forever ago to learn from him. So it's a whole thing, the smoking meat, not drug situation.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
So, and also like what you were saying, it's that peer-to-peer connection, right? Yes. So we're peer-to-peer run. Everyone knows that, but we're peer-to-peer run with partnerships and stuff with clinical because we do believe in all of that. So it is a lot different just sitting across from someone like, look, I've already been this because for me and like after I overdosed when I was 17, I went through every form of freaking treatment until I found McShin. Well, my mom knew John. So when I was 26. So for 9 years, I did all kinds of different things and never did I, besides like the 2 12-step meetings I went to when I was 17 and like everyone was 800 years old. So I bounced real quick. I was like, Now we have an array. I'm sure I don't, that's not part of my patchwork right now, but you know, being able to go through all of that and then finding like women when I came here, which is very few, but like have lived it, done it, and they're living in this house, even though I was basically homeless, you know, when I came here, but it was really, it's just something different. Like you make them more comfortable. I feel like if someone comes here and then here, 91% of our staff are alumni. So it's really important to hire our people and create jobs and apply for, but you got to apply for grants and you got to keep, you know, tying these, you know, so I got 2 due on June 30th. So I got to write. We
literally just came from a grant meeting.
Yes. So I know. So, but I never thought in a million years I would write grants. I never wanted to ask for money, nor did I want to do that. I didn't even think I'd be at McShin this long, to be honest with you. Even back in your, like, I didn't. And now I write grants and I ask for money. I just ask y'all for money, you know? So I don't mind. Well, not you, your husband.
Yeah, I know, right? But you know what? I think it's just a matter of because I didn't like to ask before, but I think it's like when you sit down, like, okay, this is bigger than me.
Totally.
Right. So when you have that purpose of saying, okay, Kheila, this is not you personally saying, honesty, let me borrow $20.
Yeah.
Right. It's
you ain't getting it back. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah. It's more or less, okay, this is the mission. This is what we believe in. Does that correlate to what you believe in? Do you want to support it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everything that you're doing is just, I don't know of a place, and I've been around a long time, of where it's kind of like one stop, and it could be something here in Richmond. I don't know. Like it's one stop. This is where your house. Well, obviously they don't live there, but this is where you do all of your services and your housing. So that's really cool to be able to integrate in the food and then the pets, and like you got everything. Do you have babies yet?
Not yet. That's you.
I know.
We don't stay in our lane.
Oh my gosh, it's a beautiful lane there. It's challenging, but we have 5 kids now. Yeah, 5 moms and 5 kids. Our house is full. Destiny has,
every time somebody says something about a mom with children, I was like, did you try McShin?
Yeah, call us. It's a waiting list, unfortunately,
I'm pretty
which
sure
we never really have a waiting list, but you need a lot of money to run this house. So that's why I like really focus on raising for all of McShin, but really focusing on, you know, these women never have to pay a penny, which thus far we've done good. It's been over a year. So everything is paid for. I have great partnerships with like diaper banks and stuff like that too. VAR gave us a big grant in the beginning. But it's beautiful. I want about 5. So I play the lottery only when it's like $500 million. Like here's $20, sure.
Yeah.
is pay off my debt, travel, and then I want to open a whole system of care for pregnant and parenting women that are addicted. And my husband knows this. Like, this is happening if I win the lot. But I mean, it's if I win the lottery, but also how do I on this planet right now still try to do that? So I just try to find ways. So if anyone knows of any big grants or innovative, there was a grant. Did you see the MacArthur Foundation grant?
No.
It's $100 million. 100 million. I went in there to look. I did. I was like, all right, we just got the 2 million from Mackenzie Scott. Let me just go look at this 100 million. I said, click. I exited that thing. I clicked real quick. I said, man, this is so overwhelming.
How many pages?
No, well, I didn't get that far.
Okay.
So you do, some of these grants, you have to do a survey to see if you even qualify just because you're a nonprofit. It was like, are you ready to manage $100 million? Exit. I hit X. I said, no, absolutely not. I'm not. Because it sounded good. And it's like, that could be a whole, like, even what you're doing, but then you add women and children and single dads and children, because there's a lot of those in recovery. And then it's like, you will be solving so many things.
That's the thing.
But when it said that you ready to manage $100 million, I didn't even call Melanie. She's our CFO, because I was like, click. I can't. It gave me so much anxiety.
They strategically placed that. They knew that was going to be a filter.
Yeah. And it said something like, do you have the budget and will to come to a bunch of meetings in different states and stuff? So like once you, I'm sure they said that was like the biggest challenge the last time they did something like this was the individuals that qualify or made the first round, like they couldn't afford to continually use their budget to go to all these meetings and meet with all these people, because $100 million, they're not just, oh, sure, let's go through 10,000 applications to pick one. They're going to really vet, like the Mackenzie Scott, they vetted us. Like it took a year to get that, like to say yes, for them to say yes for that grant that I write. And they tell me, like, they vet you, they search you, they research you, they look for articles, they look for everything, because it's their name too.
Exactly.
So they have a full-time staff for Lever for Change. So anyway, so I saw that one. So it's on MacArthur Foundation if y'all looking for $100 million. I know. No. I know I'm awesome, and I know that I could write grants and get money for all the people that we serve, but I'm super intimidated by writing one for $100 million. 1000%. Like, I just self-taught writing grants. I mean, I didn't go to no school.
What's going on with your imposter syndrome right now?
Well, this is realism. You want to help me write it?
No.
We could co-write it.
I'm just thinking about the reporting.
I know
what that looks like.
Yeah. Well, the one that we just got is 0. They said, here's $2 million. Have
Are you
beautiful
serious?
I'm 100.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're having our meeting. Yeah. So we're figuring, and we've already done some stuff. So we're redoing some of our houses.
Yeah.
So ton of furniture, painting, all of that. Destiny House is funded.
Yeah.
For the most part. So that's was my big ask. Because I'm not in charge, the board is.
Yeah.
So the board of directors is the real boss.
Yeah.
And then we're coming to we have a strategic planning day every July of every year with our board of directors and the executive team. So we're gonna figure out like what to do and how to maximize on that as well. So no, you like wrote also, like they really were looking for peer-led, like how is your leaders and everyone in your organization involved, and how did they connect and everything. I mean, we're walking testimonies of the program. So it's like, it just is what it is. But it just what would you do with it is what and Destiny House was my obviously number one.
Main one.
And then that's it. And then they basically say don't solicit any more money or anything. If there's another, I can apply if it's another open call. Yeah, that was a heart attack day.
No, when I saw the email, I was like, "Oh my God, y'all got it!"
I know you were one of the first people that she did, because we had just met like a month or so before. Yeah, I know you're like, you ready for your vacation now? Because we were talking about. I was like, I still need one. But anyway, enough about me and stuff. So what else would y'all like to say or promote? I know that's a lot. And again, Steve, this is Steve back here. We love our Steve.
Hey, Steve.
This is Steve. So he's gonna post all your websites and links to everything.
Yes,
throughout the thing to donate, learn more about. Is there anything that we're missing that we haven't discussed? Any upcoming events? Anything that the community can support?
So we're currently in the process of doing something for International Overdose Awareness Day on August the 31st. We kind of talked about that a little bit, but it's looking like we're going to do it at Pollard Park on the 31st from like 11 to 2 or 3. Just a big, safe community day. All are welcome. We have like games and food and DJ and just a good time had by all. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll be there. What day? You don't know the day of the week.
It's a Saturday.
Is it?
You know, because it'll kick off recovery month.
Saturday? Well, we'll have the whole vigil here. So we do a vigil every year, invite family members that lost. So we do a candlelight vigil every year. We do the White Marker Project and all of that here. So obviously y'all are invited to that. But we'll come to, I already talked to Monique about coming to y'all's too. So we'll, I'll make sure Jesse or whoever puts it on the participants plan. So
I'm excited. It started last year as like a safe space for participants. And if I'm being completely honest, a safe space for me to honor my sister. And now we're branching off of that. So we just want people to feel loved and supported and be able to just to sit and honor if they've lost anybody.
It's a tough business for us to be in this space and loved ones and everything too. Like that big soul care is like really important. I know I've been talking about my therapy this whole time, but like there's a ton of other stuff that I do for my soul care. What do you guys do? Just some tips for leaders out there that are in this space that you do, because this is tough. Like when you're here dealing with the disease of addiction, and then you have humans in front of you, you know, that come with the disease of addiction, but also come with whatever else that, you know, comes. I was at a million different things when I walked through this door of like just hated myself. I was in debt. You know, I couldn't be a mom to my child, like all of that. So what do y'all do for y'all? I call it soul care, but
I do a couple of things. I meditate in the morning. I have my own affirmations, even though that may sound cheesy, but what thoughts you tell yourself come to reality. So just affirmations. Journaling is a big part of that. So even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it doesn't have to be every day, but so you're not bottling everything up. You're kind of getting your thoughts out on paper and not kind of holding them in. And then I do a weekly massage.
Weekly?
It's that real.
Dang. I do monthly and I like feel booze. What? Do you have a good one? We'll talk after this. My girl just stopped, so I've been going.
So the girl that does our like yoga and therapy at the center for Fresh Start, that's who I go to.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get the information name after this because I'm
like
looking. My girl, she's a yoga instructor. She's a queen because I've been to a ton of masseuses and massage therapists. And then my sister had her, so I've been with her for 2 years. No one. I need to see how I'm gonna word this. No one has been that good. Like no one. So then she's focusing on just her yoga studio now.
Don't you hate when they switch it up?
I'm like, girl, I almost cried because I have like football injuries and stuff. So I have to go to the chiropractor and a massage every month just to honestly work out and run and do all the stuff that I love to do.
Are we gonna skate by? You said you had football injuries.
Yeah,
like soccer or football?
No, football. I played football. So me and my husband and a bunch of people in recovery and my sister played football for like 7 years at River City Football and a couple other places, like flag football in recovery. So this girl, the quarterback threw the girl, I don't know all the terms, but I blocked a touchdown from a woman. So she didn't get the touchdown, but when I didn't catch myself, I landed on my shoulder. So since then, there you go. My shoulder pops. Hey, if y'all know anything about that, let me know. But my shoulder pops all day, my knee and my ankles to my left side. And I'm getting older. So like, you know, so that's just pops all the time. So I have to do chiropractor and massage every month. I just have to for, I mean, mental health, but also physical health.
Yeah.
So yeah, football injury.
Okay.
I know. I'm like,
I was like, hold on,
I
nobody's
know.
gonna say anything.
I know. Like Eli made
Oh,
it my
yeah.
old football injury. But
You
yeah.
sound like a 90-year-old.
I know. I feel no, I really don't. Well, I'm doing well. That's another whole. I just got the, and that's another whole topic. Never mind. It's getting too steep with Steven here, but because our bodies go through so much as women.